What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, you're just making bad life choices. Go on over to scoresandodds.com, get signed up, or you got picks from me, Meansy, Daniel, Chavels, and all the greats. Plus, you get access to a nice little prop shopping tool, and you get access to Grant's Action Lounge, where I'm throwing in every single one of my bets as soon as I bet them, plus answering your questions, doing this and that and whatnot, winning you guys tons of money. We're on a roll this month. Absolutely crushing it, up 71 units so far. Wish FanDuel would let me bet more than $100, but it is what it is. 15% ROI so far this month. I am joined by, some would say, the great Dean Chevelson. People would be wrong. He's just a mediocre Daniel Chevelson. How you doing there, Daniel Chevelson?
I mean, to be fair, as Daniel Chevelsons go, you can't find a better one. I challenge you.
You can't find a worse one.
That's a reasonable take. I'm doing well. You've been hot, and also shout out to you and your Colorado Avalanche. You probably still can't name two players in the team, but
McKinnon and Valerie.
Okay.
Second, Daniel.
Wait, who's Valerie? You're talking about what's his last name at the end?
Yeah. I knew he had a girl.
Mel McCarr. How about that? There you go. But you, I know you won a handsome amount of American dollars on it as well too. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, I just added it. What are we at so far for the year? Up 23.5 G's in how long have we been doing this? February, March,
in hockey,
May, June. No, on this. So in 5 months, we're up $23,000. Almost back to even on MLB props, but actually up money on MLB overall, up a G on MLB after being down 10 grand in the first month.
You were a disaster out the gate, unfortunately. I mean, that is an insulting way. That's just the way things go. And, obviously there was a lot of goofy stuff going on with the way that the weather was, with the way the baseball was, and homers being suppressed. And now it's hotter and the ball seems to be jumping more. So I know your home run props are paying off. And, hey, it's one of the reasons why you're hot. It's a Thor day. Thor's being unleashed.
Oh, gosh.
Syndergaard's back in the mound, and you hit the 25-1 last time out versus with Benintendi. I think that was last time out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last time out. The 25-1. I hit the 8.5 to 1. I hit the 4 to 1, and I think I hit the 10 to 1. He gave up a lot of stolen bases.
Yeah,
very happy about.
It's really a wild, goofy thing that he has the inability to hold on runners. Just he's too slow to the plate, and that's that. And everybody knows it. And the White Sox, we'll be talking about it soon enough. Spoiler alert: you're gonna like some White Sox stealing some stolen bases. But dude, let's get to it whenever you're ready to go.
Yeah, so we'll just get right into that. Thor, so far this season, we have to go switch because he's not qualified yet because he doesn't go late enough into the games. So switching that to minimum 30 innings. Thor is leading the league in stolen bases with 18. Someone is at my door, allegedly, according to my technology that has to scream that out while my other technology is banging up against the wall. That's a vacuum. A lot of technology in this.
You got the Roomba working?
Yep, got the Roomba working. But Thor has given up 18 stolen bases. Do you know who's number 2?
Who is I think it's Sandy Alcantara.
Yep.
Bam!
Number 3, Rodon. Number 4, Gaussman. Maybe we should look into some Gaussman.
That's interesting. Okay.
I mean, it's still not nearly as good. Thor's got 18 in 58 innings.
That's insane.
Sandy's got 11 in 106. Gaussman's got 9 in 80. So he's given up basically 1 per 9. So it's really not great odds unless Duran, if he's in there. Is he back down in AAA?
He's not in the projected lineup. Did they send him down? I'm not certain. That's a good question. I don't know why he wouldn't be because he's a lefty. I presume he would start, but you know what? Looks like he's hurt. He's expected to be on the restricted list prior to Monday's. I'm not sure what the deal with him is, but yeah. Apparently it's a COVID related. Oh, you know what? I guess he's not vaxxed. I think it's a story here.
Oh yeah, up in Toronto, not vaxxed. Yeah, I knew that.
Going to Toronto. So, what I thought is Trevor Story. I'm trying to think of something they could steal, right?
Trevor Story is the only other one, and I don't think there's great odds. Let's check it out here. See if Story has any decent odds. He's generally around 4-1, which I don't think is great. 5-1 is the best odds, so I don't like that. 4.7 over on Caesars points.
I mean, he's got 10 steals this year, Grant.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do the math, he's 10 steals. He's probably played he's played 66 games. So
yes, going off of what did happen and not what's going to happen or likely to happen is not really the best way to do things.
Well, no, I'm just saying like he's got 10 and one every 6.6 games, and the matchup against Gaussman is more enhanced than pretty much any other pitcher. That's all. I mean, he's a good. Well, getting on is a little bit trickier. It's a little less so these days against Gaussman, but if he's on, he probably goes. And maybe you can get like an Arroyo who's got 3 if he sneaks into the lineup, something like that.
Yeah.
What's the number? Does he have a number?
Arroyo. Let's see.
I
don't think so.
Yeah, if you can get like a 10-1 or something like that on Arroyo, maybe that could be interesting. But
if you get 10-1, it's going to come in at about 6-1.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So the bets I have is over on Superbook, AJ Pollock plus 1,500. You can get it better at Play Up. Josh Harrison, if he cracks the lineup there, plus 1,280. Luis Robert plus 410 over at Superbook. Tim Anderson plus 320. If you don't have Superbook, then Caesars has Robert like plus 400, Anderson at plus 300, DK has Pollock at like plus 1,300, and Harrison at like plus 1,100. So not too far off. I ended up betting Robert and Anderson on DK afterwards. And they know that's a good bet. They limited me decently on those ones.
By the way, your Seattle Mariners just traded for. You might have been excited about this if the year was like, I don't know, 2014. But your Seattle Mariners has traded for Carlos Santana. Congratulations. Wyatt Mills and William Fleming going to the Royals.
I mean, I guess that's not terrible. I mean, Santana's really not a bad bat.
I feel like the power is just done.
Oh, the power is gone. Absolutely gone. But let's see. Carlos Santana. Like, he's not a bad, like, if I remember correctly, he's not a bad fielder. The power is, well, for the most part, gone. 19 home runs last season. But the K rate is still sitting at 13%. Walk rate at 17%. He's a guy that can get on. WRC plus above average at 104. Yeah, like, he doesn't strike out. He doesn't
125 ISO. Eesh. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's no power, but he's going to be like a 7 or 8 hitter. We have plenty of power. He's going to get on.
Going to be hurt for a while. How long is he out for?
Maybe, but also they can throw Santana in going up against right. I don't know. Nah, they probably wouldn't do that. He's a good bench guy.
Good DH or play first, or can you do both? Like I don't know.
Both.
He can still play first base these days. He's 36.
Yeah.
Someone was detected at your front
door.
Someone is at my front door. Good for me. But yeah, I like those bets, and let's get some home run bets. First off, we got Gary Sanchez to hit a home run plus 400 over on FanDuel. Dean, you may know this fact since you told me it last night. Who gives up the most fly balls in the majors?
Yeah, it's Tristan McKenzie.
Yeah, it is. And that's
fly balls tend to be more likely to go over the fence than ground balls. Can you confirm that?
I don't think there's ever been a ground ball that's gone over the fence. Well, that's been a home run. Fun fact there.
Well, I mean, inside the Parker.
Look at you. Maybe proving me wrong.
But what set a scenario? What circumstances have to happen for Gary Sanchez to hit inside the park home run?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean,
how many fielders have to collide?
McKenzie, massive 50% fly ball rate to right. He's 44% hard contact rate. I mean, Gary Sanchez may not be a great bat, but dude has pop, and dude's a big fly ball hitter. 43.5%, over 40% hard contact rate. Yeah, it's just solid here. I really like that. Let's see. Next up, we got Taylor Ward to hit home run plus 460. He's going up against Giolito. Giolito currently giving up 3.13, I believe, home runs per 9 to righties so far this season. 250 ISO since beginning of last year, so it's pretty decent sample size. 358 ISO this year to righties with a 43% fly ball rate, 5% hard contact rate.
Yeah, Giolito reverse splits, and it's weird. Like, and I was just writing up DFS stuff, obviously, for the show. We talked about it last night on the Morning Grind. If you guys are playing DFS, check out the Morning Grind. Myself and Grant. I feel like we've been talking to each other for a while of late. I don't know what the deal is with Giolito. Right, we're supposed to respect him. You're supposed to kind of stand down to some degree, or even roster him in DFS. But the hard hits are exorbitant. It's a lot going on. The homers are aplenty. The homer to the fly ball is not really goofy, 20.3%, and 2.13 homers per 9 as is, and like he's kind of reverse splitsy as well too. So the righty side power is certainly interesting. I guess the Trout numbers is not good enough because Trout's always great,
It's
but
like plus 200. I still don't hate it.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet that, but it's my Trout, so whatever. But I don't think I'd bet it. Like that's not good enough odds.
Yeah. It's a little bit tough. So I have on the other side of the game, I have Jose Abreu did a home run plus 550. Not necessarily the greatest matchup going up against Thor for power. Going up against righties, he's a decent ground ball pitcher. Doesn't give up a ton of fly balls. Doesn't give up a ton of hard contact. Generates a decent amount of soft contact. But plus 550 for Jose Abreu, who has a lot of pop.
Yeah, you're just betting the line there, basically, right?
Yeah, it's just a bad line.
Yeah,
you can. If I'm getting Jose Abreu at plus 1,000 versus any pitcher in the major leagues, I'd do it. Plus 550, unless it was against maybe even I don't even think I'd probably bet that against Framber.
What about Martin Perez? And Martin Perez this season 0.21 homers per 9.
Don't know about that, but even at that line, essentially 1 out of every 5 games, if you're not including the bullpen, then realistically, I guess that would be tough. But so many of that plays different factors. It's decent weather over in LA. I don't know. So do you know, outside of Joey Gallo at plus 480 over at FanDuel, I was betting that line. All the rest of my bets for home runs are in one game. Do you know what game that is?
I like to look and see what you have sometimes so I can kind of prep, but I did not get a chance to do that. I know you post your stuff in the Action Lounge and I have access to it, but I did not have a chance to do it again because I was doing some other content. I have a guess as to where it's at.
What's your guess?
I feel pretty good about my guess.
What's your guess?
I think it's the Pittsburgh-Washington game.
Nope.
Really?
Seattle-Baltimore.
Vogelbach's going to bang one out, though. Are the odds not good enough?
I went to go bet it at plus 500 earlier, and it moved.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Let's see what's at now. I still don't hate it. Oh.
Plus 500 is pretty appealing. I guess if it dropped to
Dropped to plus 460. It's not a bad line. I wonder
Okay.
what the bat has him at.
I felt pretty good. I thought maybe Soto's probably, the odds are probably too tricky, I imagine. But
yeah.
Okay. You like the homers in the Seattle Baltimore game. Man, we talked about yesterday. We were just swooning over George Kirby. I guess the odds are just too good in the Baltimore side.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Kirby could absolutely cruise through it, but more than likely is going to give up a bomb, potentially give up 2. Dude has a 261 ISO versus righties, giving up 41% fly balls, 41% hard contact. It's being played over in Seattle, which is generally not a good weather spot, but it's going to be 85 degrees, I believe, at the start of the game today. They're in a heat wave over in Seattle right now. It is a dome, but it's an open air dome, so even if they close the dome, it's still hot in there.
It's an umbrella.
Huh?
It's like an umbrella.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what I hear it described. I've never been.
It's more of a what's that thing? What's it? You get them outdoors. They're a nice addition. Some people get married in them. What are they called? Oh gosh.
Like a tent?
No, but it's more like a tent. Yeah, it's more like one of those tents, but it's made out of wood. Oh.
Somebody in chat, help us out.
Yeah, this is going to bother me. It looks, it's kind of like, oh gosh. Oh, overhang outside. Oh, this is going to bother me. No, what is it? Not gazebo. Is it a gazebo?
Gazebo's a thing, and I think it's a structure, but I'm not exactly sure what. I'm pretty sure it's
It
made
is
of
a
wood.
gazebo.
Okay. You got
Yes.
there.
Yes. Look at this gazebo. It's like a gazebo. Look at that gazebo.
What's the difference between a gazebo and an umbrella? I mean, like as far
Umbrella
as
goes up in the middle. Gazebo's on the outside. There's not just a tall pole in the middle of the field, Daniel. That would be insane to me.
You ever see the structure in Tampa where they have like the pillars and you hit this one, you get a double.
Okay, no one's talking about how ridiculous Tropicana is.
The rafters, it's called rafters, right?
Yeah. But so I have a decent amount of bets. So I have Cal Raleigh to hit home run. That guy has some pop. May not bat very well, but he's basically Mike Zunino. Justin Upton to hit home run plus 450 over at FanDuel.
Whoa.
Adley Rutzman plus 520 to hit home run. Mountcastle plus 410. That's my least favorite of the bunch. Mancini plus 460 to hit home run. Hayes plus 440 to hit home run. Jesse Winker plus 480 to hit home run. After we got the double bird narrative there and the pizza narrative.
The story was incredible. Like that was so
yeah.
good. I'm sure we talked about it yesterday, actually. Yeah, with the woman on the internet sent a local pizza joint pizza to the clubhouse for Winker. She's a Mariners fan, and I think she's a beat for them as well. Or does
she does some stuff with the Mariners and I think the Miners. So yeah.
And everybody's hooking up the like the DoorDash or whatever it was driver like went above and beyond. That's a pretty tricky place.
Yeah, and then I think he put up what's it called? Something for a kid with cancer, a GoFundMe. But yeah,
I didn't see that. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is it's a great. I mean, if you can spin, a brawl or whatever you want to call it, brawl, loose terms, into a positive story, they certainly have. It's a nice story.
Yeah, did you know that Taco Bell's creating a big Cheez-It tostada and a big Cheez-It crunch wrap?
Cheez-Its might be the most overrated snack if you're doing power rankings.
They're not great. They're very snackable. It's like goldfish. It's like a lot of things.
Goldfish suck too. Those are like the two worst as far as like popularity and actual like good. They're not horrendous. Like in a pinch, whatever.
Yeah, no one's like takes a Cheez-It. Oh, this is delicious. It's you eat a Cheez-It like, oh, that's not bad, and then you eat an entire box.
Cheez-It stands. They'll put them on the podium, but they have no right to even sniff the podium.
Yeah, they're not. It's not like Cheetos where you like taste it and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm covered. Huh?
Not even close.
Yeah, you're a big Cheetos guy.
I mean, Cheetos versus like Cheez-Its. What are we talking about? It's not even a competition. It's not a fair fight.
Cheetos are my favorite chip, even though are they even a chip? I don't know.
What I call it, it's a loose interpretation of chip.
It's corn puff.
It's in the chip. They're cousins. Yeah. What are you, a Flamin' Hot guy?
No, I just like the regular. I love puffs. I love the white cheddar organic puffs.
That's contrarian.
Puffs are delicious, but I think just the pinnacle is just the normal Cheetos.
The standard, yeah. They did it right the first time. They nailed it.
I like a little bit of variety. One time I went to Vegas, and me and my buddy survived for 4 days only drinking Bud Heavy and Cheetos Puffs. Like that's it. That's all we had for 4 straight days.
By the way, I should say actually, the baked Cheetos are actually better, I think, than the original. Have you had those before?
The baked ones?
Yeah.
I have. Those are solid.
Yeah. The baked ones are pretty good.
But I don't know if they're better. They are healthier. They're probably
healthier is again, loose interpretation of healthy, but yeah, by default, I guess.
I mean, they're definitely healthier.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you like, hey, you should eat baked Cheetos because they're good for you. But they have 50% less fat.
Yeah.
So that's good.
50% is still a lot, though. But you're taking 50% off like a big chunk. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
Oh, so someone in chat, Narrow J, was talking about he doesn't want to sign up for Caesars. He's going to wait for a better promo because he doesn't like the free bet. So I actually wrote out the scenario right here. I'll enhance it a little bit. Let's see. Can you see that very well?
Let me see on the screen. I can see it reasonably well.
We'll try 250. Won't let me zoom in anymore.
I mean, I can see it.
Let's see. Maybe if I
think you're fine. Yeah, that's better.
there you go. All right, so it's really simple here. This is a very basic thing, but essentially Caesar's hat. So this isn't going to be big, but this is like how you can use the risk-free bets to essentially automatically not lose money. So in essence, what you're doing is we're just assuming straight minus 110 odds. So like you have football season, you can get any spread pretty much at minus 110 on almost any site. So this is assuming just a 10% minus 10 lines, but you can obviously find better lines like minus 105 on one side and get plus 100 on the other side. So an artificial like 1% juice, 2% juice, whatever it is. So what you do here is the first bet on Caesars risk-free. We're doing 1,500. You win that, it wins 1,363, right? Making sense?
Okay.
So on site 2, so just a
You don't
different
get back
website.
the original equity.
Yeah, you don't bet it on the same site, but on a different site, let's say FanDuel or DraftKings, you bet the other side of the game for $750. If that wins, you get 681 back. So with bet 1, if your $1,500 bet wins, then you're up $613.63. If it loses, and so it wins on FanDuel or the other site, you're down $818, but you have a $1,500 free bet. So what you do with that free bet is you do a 2-leg parlay. Assuming minus 110 juice. You do a 2-leg parlay, and then with one on the other side, the first leg of the parlay, you bet $750. If that wins, then you go on to the next one. If that one loses, then officially off the promo, you're down $136. Like that's it. You can obviously change it up a little bit, make it a little bit less risky. You could do $850 or $900. If you wanted to go zero risk, you can go $900 and you're break even. If that first leg of this parlay with your free bet misses. So at that case, you're down $0. So then after that, if your first leg wins, then all you do is you put down $2,400 to win $2,181 on the second leg of the parlay. If that wins, you're up $463. If that loses, you're up $800. So essentially, you're hedging against your bet, knowing that free bets don't get the original equity. You want to do a 2-leg bet. I want to make sure that this is right. So G5 minus B15. Oh, it's negative G5 minus B5. No, G5. All right. Yeah, so that is right. So yeah, in this scenario, you're pretty much up no matter what. You've made a couple $100. I think this one you actually technically lose a few $100. This one might be a negative. So you can make it to where you going risk free on your first bet, and then you can hedge out with your whatever bet. And so does that make sense there?
Yeah, I got a couple questions for you, Grant. You said I think you said minus 110, assuming minus 110 as far as the odds. When it is risk free and you don't get back the original equity, I know sometimes you will bet, you'll fire at championship odds, 20-1 in this team. In this circumstance, you wouldn't do it because it's $1,500. Is that why you're not, I guess you get smaller free bets throughout?
Oh, see, I would.
You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, I see what you're asking. But yeah, the reason why I'm doing this, I wouldn't do this. I'm just gonna let it ride. Like I'll put the $1,500 bet on a future, and then use all my other free bets for futures, and then hope that future ends up hitting.
Yeah, but you also have most likely more money than most. Then you're probably
yes.
you have a bigger pool of money. Like you could take the bigger hit, is that kind of thing. Like somebody else that's just dipping their toe in, probably doesn't want to do that. I'm guessing. Like the average.
What you're doing is you're decreasing your expected value, but increasing also decreasing the volatility.
Yeah, but yeah, again, but your role is greater than most. That's just the way it is. I'm stroking your ego here, Grant. But that's just the bottom line. That's just how that goes. And the other thing is, and I'm going to pay attention to this because I'm going to be in some legal sports betting states very soon. Jumping around and taking advantage of promos. Have the promos gotten worse? Are they not as good as they once were? Because it swept the nation. A lot of the states kind of ratified and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's trying to grab customers. Are they kind of sort of where they're at from the start, or are they're getting not as appealing?
Depends on the site. There's always different ones, but yes, they're still in customer acquisition mode. Very much in customer acquisition. I'm trying to. I realized I messed this one up here. Minus G6 plus.
I think I hear docs in the background.
Yes. Plus.
Probably has to do with that person knocking in the door.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to. So it would be. Sorry, I'm just going to do this so I make sure people have the right number. I don't want to mislead them. Minus equals plus minus this plus this minus this minus that plus this. So yeah. So in this scenario, the way I've set it up now, you're either up $613 or you're down $1. If you change that to just 2,000, then you're up 300 pretty much no matter what. Change that to 900 and this to 1,900. You're essentially up $9. So you can kind of mess around with this. But if you're trying to guarantee a win, then the exact odds would be 2050. All right, so if you do it exactly this way, assuming minus 110 odds, you bet 1,500 on the first one, counterbalance it with 750. You either win, or if you lose, then you put 1,000 hedging out on the second bet, and then 2,050 on the next bet, and you're pretty much guaranteed about $90. So you're either guaranteed 600 if your first bet wins, or $90 if you follow this exact formula afterwards. That's assuming that the lines don't change.
I'm just kind of jumping through RotoGrinders, by the way. If you're looking to sign up for certain sites, of course, go to the rotogrinders.com website, go to sportsbooks, and you'll see BetMGM, BetRivers, Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel, all sorts of promo codes there. And yeah, some of them about FanDuel, we got $1,000 no sweat first bet. And again, your approach is that you're just going to YOLO it, but maybe somebody that's just kind of dipping their toes that wouldn't necessarily do that.
Yeah.
That's
so Milo's in chat. I read somewhere that the best way to use these is to do the initial risk-free bet is to get it around plus 500 to plus 600, and then just use the bets as normal if you lose the initial risk-free. No. So with it's actually kind of the opposite if you want to maximize things. It all depends on your risk volatility. The best way to do it is to put it on a positive EV plus 600 bet every single time, or plus however much you can stomach, because that's where you're getting the best odds. Because if the original bet loses, you're getting that risk-free bet. So you either win a bunch of money or you get a risk or you get a free bet. And with that free bet, you don't get the original equity back. So the best ROI you could possibly have on a $1,500 bet at a minus 1,000 bet, so 1,500 to win 150, is literally 10% ROI off that bet. You can't get any higher. That's if you have a 100% win rate, because you're not getting back the original equity. So the smarter move is to go on, like, if you go on a plus 1,000 bet, assuming that's a 10% edge by or the 10% juice by the website, you're going to win it 10 out of 11 times. So your ROI off of that $1,500 free bet at plus 1,000 odds is technically 90%. So long term, you bet that you win it 1 out of every 11 times. Over the long term, that $1,500 free bet is going to be worth roughly $1,350. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, and I think it's dealer's choice. Again, I think I understand why you're doing what you want to do, and I think I understand why somebody just wants some free money to play with, like, and just give me
Yeah.
a couple $100. Like, I get both ways.
Yeah.
But like, your way makes more sense math-wise. And if this is what you're doing for, a lot of money, but maybe the other way works for somebody that just wants the money to play with. Like, it depends. Like, what do you want? It's
So what I'm going to be doing when I go on my honeymoon, I'm stopping in Nashville, so Tennessee, I'm stopping in Indiana, I'm stopping in Detroit, I'm stopping in Chicago. Caesars, for instance, has this $1,500 risk-free bet. So what I'm going to do in every single state is probably bet either a home run bet or a 2-leg parlay for my initial bet. And then if it loses, then I'm going to put all that money on futures, which my futures, like right now for baseball, I'm just constantly, every single free bet I get, I'm betting on futures. So in my spreadsheet right here, I literally have, if the Dodgers win, I get $2,000 back. If Yankees win, I get $1,350. Houston's $2,600. Mets $1,400. Toronto's $3K. Milwaukee's $2K. Atlanta's $0. I'll probably end up throwing some more on that. So regardless of which team outside of a huge outlier wins, outside of Atlanta and Cleveland, I'm getting somewhere between $500 to $7,000 if they win. Using the free bets that I get over off of Caesars, which I believe the Caesars $1,500 promo risk-free bet, they don't give you a $1,500 free bet. They give you 3 $500 free bets. So
you prefer that?
Huh?
You prefer that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always better.
I feel like that in my head, that feels like it's better, but I know you have better experience.
Yeah. So looking at Caesars, like I would put 500 to win 6K on one of those on the Braves, like 500 to win 2,000 on the Yankees, 500 to win 6,500 on the Padres. Then the next date I'll go Mets, Astros, Dodgers, and then the next state I'll go White Sox, Rays, Cardinals. And then in the next state, I'll go Giants, Red Sox, Phillies.
And then the Marlins win the World Series and you win nothing.
So the main thing is when if the Marlins were to get to the playoffs, I can get I can put like $30 in free bets if I really want to. Like again, if I want to guarantee things, I can do that. But essentially, I can also hedge out. So, but assuming that those are the only teams that make the playoffs, when the playoffs happen, I'm guaranteed $3,000 off of my $3,000 in losses. Is essentially what's happening.
And you implemented the strategy for basketball where you had a bunch of teams, and I believe you had a lot of Warriors and a lot of Celtics, correct?
I had a decent amount of Celtics. I had a lot of Warriors, and I had a ton of Memphis. And I had but yeah, like essentially, so when the semifinals happened, Dallas, I won 6K if they won. Boston, I won, or Dallas, I won 10K if they won. Boston, I won 12K. Warriors, I won 18K if they won. And what was the last? It was the Heat.
The Heat lost to Boston, if that's your asking.
Yeah. Was that in the semifinals?
Yes.
Yeah. So the Heat, I only had 4,500. So I actually, when the Heat were at 5-1, I put $500 down, essentially taking my end number.
It's a head.
Yeah. So if the Heat would have won, I would have won like $8,000. So by that time, with all my free bets that I had put down throughout the months, I was guaranteed anywhere from 8,000 to 18,000 off of like a decent amount of free bets.
You say free bets. Did you accumulate those as you're betting? Like the more you bet, the more they just kind of give them to you, or you're talking about just and this is all like initial sign up stuff? Because
a lot of them are on Bet Rivers. So Bet Rivers, they had promos going every month for VIPs. I happened to get up to like the 9th level. At the 9th level, they ran a promo like 3 times a month that if you bet $500 on hockey and NBA combined, we give you a $150 free bet.
Okay.
So I hit that. And Caesars, while I was in Arizona, they had a promo where I think it was one football season. If you hit 10 out of 15 spreads, then you got 2 $500 free bets. I hit that. I got 2 $500 free bets. When I was down in Arizona, I signed up for MGM, did the $1,000 risk-free promo. I lost. I got 5 $200 free bets. I used that on 5 different ones. Did the same thing over in Wyoming when I went up and played on MGM, which is again why I go higher odds, because then I got 5 $200 free bets. Milo in chat, one of the biggest ones, the Dinger Tuesday promos on FanDuel are sweet for World Series futures. Yes. Do you know why the reason why I have Dodgers futures right now? Dino?
Well, I mean, I assume it's because you're taking advantage of this promo.
Yes. Well, I'm taking advantage of this promo. So last week I got $235 free bet, and they won't let me make any futures bet to win over like $1,000. So I had to take either the Dodgers or the Yankees. So I took the Dodgers.
I gotcha.
But yeah, so essentially, the Dinger Tuesday, which I'll give you bets on every single game tomorrow.
What is Dinger Tuesday? You have a second? What is that?
So Dinger Tuesday promo, I'll bring it up right now. One of my favorite promos. So essentially, it is like, where is it? There it is. You place $25 plus on a 2-hit a home run prop wager on Tuesdays. You get $5 bonus in free bets for every home run hit in that game, regardless if your bet wins or loses.
Okay.
You can do that once per game. There are 16 games tomorrow.
So you do it every game?
Yeah, I will, regardless, put a home run there in every single game, knowing that I probably am going to win money on my home runs long term because I know what I'm doing. And FanDuel has ridiculous odds. I wouldn't do this on DraftKings probably, but FanDuel has ridiculous odds on at least 1 to 2 players. So I will know that I will probably win money on my bets. I have every single Tuesday so far this season. But I also am going to get $200 in free bets, which I will throw on futures.
Is there a scheduled doubleheader? You said 16 games. Is that what
I believe there's a scheduled doubleheader tomorrow.
Okay. I was like, I thought like it's only 30 teams in the league, but okay. Yeah, I guess doubleheader makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going heavy on that.
Twins Guardians doubleheader.
Yep. Yeah, which is great because there'll be some home runs in that game.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And Buxton probably sits one game.
Yeah, that's still fine. I mean, they still have Sanchez, they still have Kepler, they still have some power. But yeah, I think that should pretty much do it for our show.
That was a good, thorough, good lesson as far as just listening. I learned it too. This is stuff like, again, I have takes and I have thoughts and all that, but they haven't been applicable for me just yet because I've not been in the correct state to execute such things. But soon enough, Grant, I'll be knocking on your door at some point, and the dog will be going nuts. Yeah, I'll be out there gambling a little bit.
Yeah, he's not going to like you.
Why not? Dogs love me. What do you mean? Why would dogs not going to like me?
I made a joke. Yeah, I made a joke.
Oh, okay. Some dogs, every once in a while, you get the one that gives you the stink eye, like that's protective of the owner or something like that. But
oh yeah, and people may be asking, like, aren't futures a pretty heavily juiced market? In general, yes. But if you're taking the best odds from each individual team, like each individual site, like you can get plus 700 as opposed to plus 550 on the Astros. This synthetic market, or this market is probably juiced at like 6%. But if you're taking like Astros at plus 700 over on PointsBet instead of DK, the Braves plus 1400 on MGM as opposed to DraftKings, Brewers plus 1800, Giants plus 3500, Red Sox plus 3600. Like when you take the best line from each individual site, the synthetic market that you're creating for futures is actually a fairly low one. Since you're not getting the original equity back on free bets, you're essentially like able to get a 75% return on your free bets overall, which is fantastic.
By the way, the Royals called up. Looked like this is probably a reaction to get rid of Santana. They called up a pretty big prospect in the organization, the 4th ranked prospect according to Fangraphs, 95 overall in all of baseball, a lot of power. Vinny Pasquantino. He's got 18 homers. Yeah, very good name. I hope this guy's good. 18 homers so far in AAA, less than 300 at bats. Just maybe a name to monitor going forward.
Yeah, good call. Look at you throwing out the knowledge there.
6'4", 245. I want to see what this dude looks like.
Big boy.
This is going to be a big boy.
You do realize that's exactly how big I am.
What?
That's exactly how big I am.
Yeah, but Pasquantino is like all muscle. He's
ripped. That's the difference. It was always funny looking up like, oh, I'm the same size as most NFL linebackers. I'm like, I do not look like them.
Now I got to see what he looks like. By the way, I saw I knocked out one of our movies for our movie bed, and I saw dude, what did I watch last night for the very first time? The Nick Cage and Sean Connery. Yeah, I watched the Rock. There you go.
Welcome to The Rock.
I finally watched that.
What did you think of it?
It was fine. Like, I'm not a big, like, Bruckheimer, Michael Bay guy. Like, I think they both collabed in that one. It was fine, though. It was all right.
It's a fun movie.
What?
It's a fun Nick Cage movie.
Yeah. And there's some quips. There's some one-liners that are just sort of out there. There was a very dated reference, two very dated references, like the Seattle grunge scene, which I thought was funny.
Oh, yeah.
This is like, man.
When he's getting the haircut. This isn't it anymore? Yeah, it's kind of Seattle grunge.
Yeah.
So.
And somebody watching that today is like, what? But it felt dated, but it was fine. Yeah, it was all right. I had no issues.
The dog is not happy, so it's time for me to get out of there.
All right. Well, I'm Googling Pasquantino. That's what I'm doing right now. But maybe he plays baseball tonight in the majors. I don't know if he has a salary in DFS, but if he does, he's possibly 2K.
All right. Well, there's advice. There's DFS advice. Watch Dean later on Grinders Live, I believe. Watch our morning grind. We're out of here.
Holler.